Yes, very good morning to all of you. Let's begin our discussion with the paper number 15. So in foundation, 4 papers done. In intermediate, 8 total, 12 done. Now 13 to 20 papers we have in our CMA final syllabus. Paper number 13 to paper number 20 we have in our CMA final. Okay, don't worry about the provisions, computations, calculations, etc. So slowly we can drive the total syllabus into further classes. The first we will begin with the basics. Okay, and like already you know subject names and paper names, etc. Again I will introduce everything in a slow manner. No need to write everything on paper. Just listen carefully. Okay. So first we'll discuss batch introduction. That is very important. How we are going to discuss total syllabus and revision, and how we are going to practice for our final exams also. So coming to the point, this is our 4th regular batch. December 25, first regular batch done, examination done, results also we got. June 26, already done, results also recently we got. Next, December 26 batch. In the same building, we have December 26 batch. This is our June 27, 4th batch. Okay, we are not combined anything. All 4 regular batches, we are, okay, some batches are already done, some batches are ongoing. Okay. First, in CMA final, in group 3, we have 4 papers, 13, 14, 15, 16. In that group 3, now our target is paper number 15. Okay, I will tell you which act is applicable and how the changes made from the earlier act to new act, everything I will tell you. Just listen carefully. Okay. Just give me an idea about the paper number 15, right? Any idea about the full name of our paper? Huh? Direct tax. Okay. Nothing but if you observe our paper name, direct tax laws as well as international taxation. Okay. In inter level, direct tax and indirect taxation. In final level, yes. Can you tell me? Direct tax laws as well as what ma? And international taxation. Okay, in shortcuts always we will call it as dt. That's okay, right? But what is that? Full name of the our paper? Repeat. Direct tax laws as well as international taxation. Okay, you know already paper pattern in intermediate level. In the same way we have a paper pattern in final also. Just I will tell you. In this total paper, we can bifurcate this paper into 2 parts. I think in intermediate level, we bifurcated the paper number 7 into 7A and 7B. Direct taxation as well as indirect taxation. Now we can bifurcate into 2, that is section A. What is that, ma? Section A. And second one, section B. Any idea? Just guess, ra. Okay, if you know already, okay. If you don't know, just guess it. If it is correct also okay, incorrect also okay. First, already we bifurcated with the and conjunction. One is in direct tax laws, second one is in international taxation. We have to know these things also, because weightage is separately given for the both the parts. Okay. After that, we can decide which part we have to learn more and which part we have to practice more. Like whatever you did in intermediate level. Okay, in final also we will do like that. So we can give the more weightage chapters first preference, and less weightage chapters we can give it as a choice. Okay, we'll decide. First part is what, ma? Direct tax. So whatever you learn in intermediate level, the same topics, 5 heads of income, set off and carry forward of losses, chapter 6A deduction, clubbing provision, TDS, TCS, but we have an advanced provisions also. Next part, already you know very well, what is that, ma? International taxation. This is an newly we are going to learn exclusively in our CMA final. What is that? International taxation part. Okay. Sir, then we bifurcated the total paper into 2 parts, sir. Then what is the weightage to be covered in our final examination? Just guess, sir. 70-30 ratio, na? Otherwise, we can follow Pareto analysis 80-20. 60-40. Okay, that means exemption versus pass marks. Okay, just I will tell you. Definitely, from direct tax laws, you will get 60 marks question paper. So don't calculate everything for 100. We have a question paper for 128 marks. So out of that only we have to learn. Okay, 60 marks, but in every attempt you can't calculate accurately. So there is an deviation plus or minus 10 marks. Maybe it will be 50 also, 60 also, 70 also. Okay, next, sir, international taxation. Easily you can calculate balance. Can you tell me what, ma? 40 marks plus or minus what, 10 marks. Sir, then we can concentrate same thing, sir. Whatever we learn in intermediate level, we can learn everything in detailed way. Anyhow, we can get 70 marks, sir. Okay, I will tell you. Here around 20 chapters are there. Okay, here only we have 4 chapters. Then decide. Which part is very important? International taxation. In exam point of view, in interview also, and in practically also, yes, definitely section B is very important. Okay, but we can't start directly with the international taxation. Why? The basics also important. Once if you got the flow, then we can start the section B, international taxation. Okay, in between the some chapters, we can start that also. Okay, clear? Then, sir, how we can get the question paper, sir? Okay, what is that attempt? Okay, definitely the question paper will be in the same way like earlier attempts. Okay, every attempt we can get the MQP, model question papers from icmai. In the same way we can get question paper also. Okay, how many parts? You know, everyone can concentrate on the first part. That is also in our exam paper also they are given it as an section A. Completely question number 1 from the section A only, right? What is that? MCQs. In final level also, in the end, okay, whatever the level, intermediate level MCQs are given, in the same way they will give. But how to answer that MCQs in a less time, sir? Based on classroom knowledge, based on practice only, you can answer the total MCQs. Okay, how many MCQs we can get, ma? Super. Everything you know. 15 MCQs into 2 marks, the totally 30 marks. Sir, in direct taxation, easily you can score 12 MCQs as an correct. Remaining 3 based on your random choices, based on your classroom knowledge only, you can get it out. Definitely. 1 or 2 MCQs, to be honest, I need to say the answers from the icmai module even after exam also. Okay, if these things many faculties will not reveal, but I will reveal these things. 1 or 2 MCQs definitely we have to research. The remaining directly you can put tax liability computation, surcharge rates also, TDS rates also. They will give direct MCQs only. Okay, and I want to tell you, you know everything, but I want to tell you again and again and again. These MCQs we have to bubble it on OMR. Maybe you can treat me as a childish for this point, but many students after examination they are messaging me that I given an answers for the total MCQs in that answer sheets are will they evaluate? They will not evaluate your answers for that MCQs if you written on the answer sheet. That already in intermediate level we haven't practiced, but for you practice is there. But old attempt students like 2016-12 syllabus students now also they are writing their finals. They don't know this point. For that purpose, every time I will tell you this point again in the number of times in the classroom itself. The listen carefully. We have to bubble OMR sheet for MCQs. Clear? Okay. Next. Tell me, ma. Next part. Sorry. Section B. Super. Oh. How many questions we can get in our question paper, ma? Total 8 questions. Out of that we have to write. No. Already one is over, right? The descriptive questions, how many, ma? 7. Out of 7 we have to write 5. 2 questions we can get it as a choice. In exam we have to decide which question we have to write, which question we have to left it as a choice. That is only the decision. Okay. Anyhow, okay, to be honest, after seeing the question paper, many students easily select because they are preparing based on the weightage only. So that's why they don't have any chance to select the choice. If you prepared every chapter, then easily you can select the choice. Okay. Now, how many questions, ma? Question number 2, 3, 4. No, definitely if you are getting bored feeling also, no problem, right? Everything we have to write it down on paper once we started the chapter. Up to that, okay. Next, ma? 6 also, na? 7, 8 also. But sir, every question for 14 marks, or is there any sub question in every question? There is a sub question, sir. So 2 7 mark questions, or maybe 6 plus combination. We can't say always, sir, in question number 2, 7 mark question 2 each. Here, maybe one 7 mark question, one 4 mark question, one 3 mark question also we can get. In intermediate, I think every question 7 mark. 7 each, 2 questions they will give for 14 marks. But here, there is no fixed sub questions weightage. Okay, but totally we can calculate how many mark? 14 mark question. After completion of few chapters, I will tell you how they are going to test the question number 2 from fixed chapters. Question number 3 also from fixed chapters. So like that we can analyze once the syllabus progresses. Okay. Then how many questions we have to write, pa? Any 5 questions we need to write from 7 questions. But many students are doing the mistake. They want to leave question number 2. Maybe total income question or trust question. Trust chapter is there in our syllabus. They will left outrightly this as a choice because they will not prepare this chapter. But while evaluating your answer sheet, definitely if you are written this answer for the question number 2, definitely you will get an edge for this also. So that's why you have to prepare every chapter. But day before exam, you can do dance. That's okay. Day before exam or in that examination center, you can select or you can do the dance also. But now you have to learn every chapter. Possible? Yes, possible. 3 things. Once, first you have to attend the classes. Second thing, practice and weekend examination. If these are all the things, if you attempted, automatically revision will be done. Now, total question paper for how many marks? Total question paper they will give for the 128 marks. So out of this we have to write or attempt only for the 100 marks. And some students will ask, not all, My question number 1 is compulsory question. Okay, compulsory. And one more thing, sir, just we have to select the answer. No need to write explanation. Okay, no need to write explanation, no need to write anything. Just we have to select the option. Clear up to now? So this is a question paper. Okay, our paper name as well as paper number also we know. So now we can go to the list of chapters we have in our CMA final syllabus. Okay, shall we write it on list of chapters? You can also in rough page or on bench or anywhere also you can try to write it down. Yes, shall we? Okay, before writing the chapters and etc., I want to give you the clarification about the new act as well as old act. Okay, for you, no need to think about the what is that old act. But luckily, you know everything in the old act in intermediate level or somewhere you know already about the old provisions. But now I will tell you, just listen. What is that old act we have? Income Tax Act. Here, super year also you know na. Okay, 1961. Okay, first of all, this act updated. That means they removed the Income Tax Act 1961. They replaced everything with a new act. What is a new act, ma? Okay, everything. Just you came for the listening of the Income Tax Act 2025. Okay. Sir, what is the purpose behind the changing the act? First, we have to know this fact. Why they made the change? Every year we have an amendments in the Income Tax Act. Even though they changed entire act. Why? Any idea? Remember, in old section structure, there is a huge complexity is involved. In order to simplify everything, they introduced the new act. First remember. What is that pointer? Okay, in old act, the many section numbers are there. So that arrangement of sections also give the more complexity to the users. Users means nothing but students also who are going to file their returns also, who are going to pay the income tax. For all of them, it is a complexity only. In order to remove that complexity, they given the new act. Okay, now, that, okay, what are the changes they made, how section numbers change, that all the things we'll discuss. First, for whom this act is applicable for that exams. That is very important thing. What is applicable for our exams? First we have to know. Okay. Any idea, ma? Who are going to write their examinations in June 27 onwards? Okay. June 27 onwards. Okay, I will write on December 27 also. For them, Income Tax Act 2025 only applicable. Okay. Next, coming to the old. Yes. Okay. If anyone going to write the examinations in December 26, June 26 is already over. Upcoming attempt is what, ma? December 26. Definitely they are going to learn old only. Okay. For this attempt only, the many students will confuse with each other because you are with the new books. In the same building, in third floor, they are using the old act. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. So for December 2026 examinations, still we have to learn the Income Tax Act 1961. Okay. Sir, you know already, every time in every year we have an amendments in the income tax law. Sir, how the amendments are brought into our act based on Finance Act. That means every year annual Finance Act will be there. So with that central government budget. So now for that Income Tax Act 1961, the last Finance Act, can you tell me any idea? Finance Act 2020. So whatever the material we issued to the December as well as June 26 students based on the amendments given in Finance Act 2020, that is a closed story. Already we are at the end of the batch, at the end of the this regular batch. And next, can you tell me, in this also we have an amendments. Can you tell me what is the Finance Act we have to learn for these two attempts? Finance Act 2026. Super. How you know this, all the things, sir? Okay, already 25 done, sir. The next one is in 20. Finance Act 2020. Sir, in my view, one thing is very important. At the student is, okay, what other things are applicable? Yes, the remembrance is very important. In exam, while doing every question, if you are remembering these things, or if you are trying to remember these things, that is an extremely difficult. Remember one thing, in your mind, first you have to fix which are applicable for our exam. Can you tell me? New Income Tax 2025 you have to learn. And what is the Finance Act 2026? Clear? That if anyone is going to read these things, yes, up to certain extent, that means up to December 2026, these are also relevant. Okay, always we have to concentrate on this part. Hereafter, always we have to concentrate on this part. Clear? Okay. Now we have to learn the content. That means what are the chapters we have to learn. Okay. Weightage also, na? I don't want to reveal the weightage. Na? In first day itself, I don't want to tell you. Just we can write it on what are the chapters we have. And I will try to tell you background. So that means chapter overview, etc. I will try to tell you. Okay, if it is possible, try to listen and remember. Otherwise, every chapter introduction also will take in a later parts. Okay. So, okay, first we have to write home. Okay, all the things first we have to write, and then after, right? So then first I will write it on content. Okay. Any idea? First chapter, what we have to start? Super, Amma. How you know? So content. These are all the chapters. Definitely we have to learn. Okay. So as per, if you open CMA final study material, maybe you will not find all these chapter names also. But first, I want to tell you one chapter that is in basic concepts. You know already in intermediate level. But again, I want to tell you in order to bring all of you in my flow. So definitely I will take the basic concept chapter. So in our CMA final syllabus, you will not get this chapter. Okay. Basic concepts. Okay. Generally, one MCQ you will get. Generally, one MCQ you will get. Don't expect descriptive questions, etc. from the basic concept chapter alone. But it will create a base for all chapters. Definitely, we have to learn this chapter. First itself, we have to start with this chapter only. Second one, any idea? Residential status. Okay, I think in intermediate level, you have a residential status, right? Okay, most important, 7 mark, definitely we will get question. Okay, mostly we can do that question in a very quick way. Accurate answer also we can get in that chapter alone. Other chapters always we can get the different answers, but in residential status we can get the same. The chapter also we have, but in other chapters we can cover residential status. But second chapter will start the return of income. What is the chapter name? Return of income. Okay. Second chapter will start with the return of income. Okay, just option to you only, no? That will discuss background of the chapter or the brief introduction also now. Otherwise, no, sir. First day, we don't want to learn that much. Just give me chapter names, I will copy it. Then after I will take the break. Your wish only. Okay. Nothing selected from your side, that's why it is my option only. I will tell you a small introduction towards every chapter. Just try to listen. If you know what is the objective behind the chapter and why this chapter we have to learn, then 50% of learning will be done. Everything you can understood by using self-study also if you know the purpose of the chapter. Okay. Sir, I earn the 4 types of incomes during the tax year. Okay. During one financial year, I earn 4 types of incomes. Okay. House property income, capital gain, business income, or professional income, like that 4 types of income I earn. Definitely required to pay the tax because my income is above the basic exemption limit. Definitely required to pay the tax to the government. How can I pay the tax? Can I say orally I have income during the financial year 75 lakhs, sir? Based on that, I will pay this much of tax to department. Orally, can I pay tax, sir? No. Definitely you have to file the written statement to the income tax department, how much income you earn, how much tax you are going to pay. That statement only called as the return of income. Can you tell me this return of income is required to be filed by the person or SSC, right? That means every taxpayer is required to file the return of income. So in this chapter, we will learn everything about how many types of returns we have. For example, I have an income, but in your case, you have a loss. That loss also you have to declare in the return of income. If you declare in the return, then only you can carry forward those losses to the upcoming years. Okay, that means different types of returns will be there. Okay, normal return, loss return. Okay, if I filed a return with a mistake, I can rectify that mistake in the revised return. That means everything related to return of incomes we will learn in this chapter. Everything. Sir, with this chapter knowledge, can I file the return of incomes? Yes. Yes. But you need to know the other concepts also. But procedure I will tell you. What is the weightage, sir? More or less 4 marks. MCQ or descriptive question, 4 marks weightage you will get. Already you know in intermediate, but in intermediate level that is an less weightage or unimportant chapter, to be honest. But now you have to learn this chapter as a second chapter itself in our syllabus. So whatever now we discussed for the last 5 minutes, if you understood, that's okay. If you not at all understood that thing, okay, just forget about that. Because again at the time of introducing the return of income chapter, we'll discuss it again and again. Okay. Oh, next, what we discussed, ma? SSC is required to file the, what is that, ma? ROI, return of income. In that, you will declare your income details, loss details, how much tax you have to pay, all the things you will declare. That will be reached to whom? Income tax department, right? Okay. In income tax department, various levels of officers will be there. Various levels of officers will be there. That means the top to bottom, there is a different levels of hierarchy will be there. Okay, if you are observing the company CEO to, yes, low level officers are there. Na? Like in the same way, in income tax department also, the different level of officers will be there. One level is very important for our exam. What is that, ma? Assessing office. What is that ma? AO, assessing officer. What do you mean by the assessor? Check. Okay, you have to assess yourself means you have to analyze whatever the mistakes you've done in and past. Okay, simply whatever the return filed by the SSC, we will not accept blindly. Why? Example, actually I have an 1.5 crore income, but how much I declared in my return? 75 lakh, right? In our earlier example we taken, I have an how much income? 75. That isn't just I declared in the return, but actually I earned how much ma? 1.5 crore. So definitely whatever return filed by the SSC, that will be verified by the whom? Income tax department, by using which level of officers ma? Assessing officer. Understood? So now the first return filing duty with the SSC. After that, the return verification duty is lies with the whom? Department, one officer. Who is that officer? Assessing officer. Now, for doing the assessment, for doing the what ma? Assessment, they have to follow certain procedures. Who have to follow procedures ma? Assessing officer. Example, while assessment I will tell you, simple assessments will be there. Simple means nothing but the computer itself will do the verification. Second one, the detailed verification, that is called as scrutiny also. The different types will be there, that all the procedures will be called as an assessment procedures. What is that? Assessment procedures. Now tell me, who required to follow the assessment procedures ma? Department. The two, assessing officer will follow the assessment procedure in order to verify return filed by the SSC is correct or incorrect. Return of income chapter we can learn. Then connecting chapter, yes, the first we will learn. Any idea? Third one? Okay, fourth one. Fourth one, I want to tell you assessment procedures ma. What is that ma? Assessment procedures. Sir, immediate chapter we have to learn assessment procedures, sir. But you given the gap in between these two chapters. Then what is the chapter we have to learn in between these two? Income tax authorities. So just I know, I told you, sir, this authority is there. But I have to tell you the total hierarchy. Who is an topmost authority in income tax, who is an lowest authority, who is an subordinate to whom, who is an ordinate to whom. These are all the things we'll discuss from the top to bottom. Okay, just a 1 hour discussion. So I will tell you the names of the all income tax authorities and some more sections. But I want to know one more thing. Who is an first and the foremost authority in direct tax laws? CBDT, Central Board of Direct Tax. Board means a group of members, right? Like that, we have an CBDT. Okay, I think in intermediate level, just you know the name. But in the final syllabus, we can know board means a group of members. In that group, who will become the members also will discuss in a detailed way. That is only the chapter number 3. Yes, income tax authorities. What is the chapter name? Income tax authorities. Sir, if you observe, every chapter has a purpose. Basics only for our introduction purposes only. Okay. Next, these 3 are connected chapters only. Return, then income tax authorities, then assessment procedures. Whatever the return filed by the SSC is correct or incorrect will determined by the department by using the what ma? Assessment procedures. Clear up to now? Okay. 4 chapters done. Now, I think in news channels, the many of us are seeing the news related to income tax rights, right? Okay, let me take our example only. How much income I declared in my return? 75. But after assessment procedures, they will determine whatever undisclosed income from my side. Okay, in return of income, just I will tell you 75 lakh I declared, right? But after assessment procedures, AO is saying that, sir, your income is 1.5. So they will send the, yes, you have to pay the tax, balance tax also you have to pay because you earn the more income than you declared. Like that, they will send the what notice, ma? Demand notice. Sir, we are demanding you to pay the tax because you earn more than your declared income, right? So listen this word, what is the notice name, ma? Demand notice. Okay, regularly I think in your articleship tenure or after qualification you can use this name also. If you are not paying the tax properly, department will send you what notice? Demand notice. Clear? Okay, this is a procedure. Okay, but I don't want to file the return. Forget about this example. I earn 1.5 crore. Every year I will earn range of 1.5 crore amount, but I will not file my return. Whatever amount I earn by using the business or teaching, whatever, I'm purchasing the gold or I'm converting everything into the cash. Okay, I'm not at all filing the return. Then department will verify everything. They will give the search warrant in my premises. Definitely they will come for the what, ma? Search. Simply income tax. Or the many government officers will be there. Their salary is 1 lakh only, but they have 100 crores or 200 crores of income. How they will earn everything? But by using the bribe or etc. But they are not revealing everything in their returns. So that's why income tax department will conduct the what, ma? Search. That is only simply income tax rights. Okay, next chapter, that is only. What is the next chapter? 5th chapter, search. Definitely, whatever I earned during the past 4 or 5 years, I know in future definitely income tax department will conduct the search procedure on my premises. I know everything. So that's why I will keep everything with my relatives' house or with my student houses, etc. Right? I know everything. In future, this will be going to conduct. So that's why I can do everything in that what, ma? Pre-plan. Remember, the search conducted on the, not only on SSE's house, the relatives also, the closed connection houses also. This every procedure we will learn in this chapter. Okay, sir. During the search procedure, they identified this some undisclosed assets. Undisclosed means, can you tell me? These are all the things are called as what, ma? Disclosed. Because you are disclosed in the return. Whatever undisclosed things are identified, what we have to do? Department will do the seizure. After the search, what they are required to do the what, ma? Seizure. Seizure means they will take the physical possession of whatever that undisclosed assets we have. Example, I purchased that with the undisclosed money, gold, they will take the physical possession of the total gold. Okay, now. First what we have to do? Search. After search only department can conduct the what, ma? Seizure. There is one important question. Department want to directly seizure. Is it possible? No. First they have to initiate the search procedure. Then after they can do the what, ma? Seizure. Understood? Ekvaipotna. Flow addhamaithe easy. Again I am repeating, if you are understanding the flow. Again, same introduction with many examples we can discuss in that every chapter. But what we are going to learn in a final, so just we are discussing, okay, 5 minutes introduction for every chapter. Next. Okay, we are incorporating one institute or any business. But always we are saying no student enrolled for our classes. Because in order to escape from the taxes, we are saying no one is enrolled for our classes. Okay, we have a building also, no one is there in this building. Like that only we are reporting to the income tax department. But now department wants to no exact information, right? For knowing information about the SSCs, they will conduct the survey. There is a huge difference between the search as well as what survey. Survey only for the purpose of information seeking. They will not do any seizure, etc. Survey means nothing but only for information seeking purposes. They will come to our premises. Example, regularly GST authorities also, income tax authorities also will inspect the premises. Our business premises regularly within 1 month or 6 months once, yearly once, they will inspect our business premises. That is not a survey. That is what, sorry, that is not a seizure, or that is not a search also. That is just what survey. So in the chapter we'll discuss the, you can question to any one of your seniors, they will not say difference between these three things, but they are ready for exam. Basic difference, sir. Okay, if I am going to conduct this search, my intention in order to identify undisclosed asset, after that I want to do the seizure of what undisclosed asset. But if I am coming for the survey, just I will ask information, I will verify their books just for knowing the information. Understood all of you? Okay, sir. Income tax rights also done. Just introduction done, not total. Okay, if it is done within 2 hours, entire act and entire syllabus is done, then everyone can get 90 also. Just introduction done. Here in my example, I filed a return with the 75 lakh income. But department is saying that how much income you have, 1.5 crore. They are demanding extra tax also. Okay. Okay, just assume, I am genuine in this case. I have an income only 75 lakh. But they are saying income how much, 1.5. They are issuing demand notice also. If I am not paying this demand notice amount, definitely they will go for that legal provisions. That means they can give the arrest warrant also. Whatever the immobile, mobile properties are there, they can do the attachment of mobile, immobile properties also. But I genuinely declared my income, but they are saying you have more income and please pay the more amount of tax. So whatever that assessment is done, after that assessment, the assessing officer will issue the one assessment order. Sir, order means nothing but what we are commanding opposite person, right? And we are giving the assessment order, you have an income of 1.5 crore and please pay the balance tax also, like that. We are ordering the SSC. Please think from SSC point of view, right? Genuinely he declared everything, but they are asking more amount of tax. If I am not paying, definitely the legal provisions will attract. That's why you have a chance to make an appeal against these orders. You can make an appeals. Appeals means nothing. Example, High Court given the one order. You are not satisfied with the High Court order. Where you will go? Supreme Court. Right? Here also, this order given by which authority? AO. If you are not satisfied with this order, you can appeal to the AO authorities. Sir, in which chapter we can discuss about the authorities? Third chapter. Then above to that AO, we have a commissioner of income tax, various authorities will be there. With them, you can make in what appeals. So, how to make the appeals? These are all the things we are going to discuss in the next chapter. Can you tell me what is the name of the chapter? Appeals. Sir, whatever that order, example, appeals part nothing but if any order is not favorable for you, you can fight with the AO by way of appealing with the higher authorities. That all the how to make appeals, what are the form numbers we have to fill, what are the proofs you have to attach, everything we'll discuss in the appeals chapter. One more thing, revision. Sir, revision means changing something. Okay. Remember, some cases, assessing officer can revise these assessment orders. Revise means, Okay, sir, genuinely you have an 75 lakh only. By mistakenly we given the order like this. We will change everything. That is only called as what, ma? Revision. Department side itself, they can revise the what, ma? Whatever the orders they passed. That points we can discuss in the concept of what, ma? Revision. One more thing. Sir, in this order they given some mistakes. Name mistake, address mistake, computation mistakes, etc. They can rectify the mistakes given in their orders also. I am using the terminology revision as well as rectification. If mistakes are there, rectification. If they want to change the order, revision. Okay, that are all the things we can learn in this chapter. Appeals, revision done, and what, ma? Super. Rectification. Okay, don't think about the class shift or class swap. I will be continued till 12:30. Okay. Just there is a modifications in the class, like echo will be coming, na? So I will continue throughout the session today itself, and afternoon there will be some modifications will be there in the classroom. Tomorrow other faculties will come and they will take the class. Okay. మేబీ టైం చూసుకుంటే ఇంకెప్పుడు పోతాడని ఎదురు చూస్తున్నారేమో. నెక్స్ట్ మా, అండ్ వన్ మోర్, ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ దిస్ కంటెంట్ నౌ. జస్ట్ దెర్ ఈస్ అ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ సెటిల్మెంట్ కమిషన్. ఓకే, దెర్ ఈస్ అ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ వాట్, మా? సెటిల్మెంట్ కమిషన్. బట్ నౌ దట్ సెటిల్మెంట్ కమిషన్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ అబాలిష్డ్. Just I will tell you, settlement commission is abolished. That point I will tell you in the class. Settlement commission means, I will tell you, so there is a dispute between the taxpayer and department. They are asking the tax. From my side, I am saying I don't have any income. How can I pay the tax? Okay, in between these two persons, if any dispute is there, one commission means nothing but board like that, they will settle these disputes. Okay, instead of going for appeals and all these headaches, okay, outrightly they will say, please pay the 5 lakh. This dispute will be settled. So earlier we have a settlement commission. Now we don't have settlement commission in our practical scenarios. Earlier, that means in 2016 syllabus we have. 22 syllabus also we don't have. In future syllabuses also we don't have any settlement commission. In examination or in any study material, if you are hearing this word, maybe you can get the confusion. So prior to that itself, I am giving the clarity. Settlement commission earlier is there in order to settle the disputes between the who and whom? Taxpayer and department. Understood? And one more thing, so easily I can tell you the chapter names, and all of you can be write it down with the good handwriting. So at the end of the class, okay, these are the chapters only you have, and you will get huge satisfaction. But from faculty side, there also will be satisfied. Why? Just they will give the names of the chapters. But if you understood, okay, every chapter we are summarizing, or I am giving the introduction within 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes. So anyone having the guts to communicate these things, then only they will touch everything in the first class itself. Otherwise, they will give the motivation, and next they will give the blueprint, and they will give the any other things like syllabus, introduction, material, and everything they will tell you. But remember, if you are comfortable in the class, definitely you can get this struggle at the time of revision and in the exams. Students will be bifurcated by the progress of syllabus into 2 categories. Okay, 2 categories definitely. So after day 2, day 3 itself, you can find the difference in the students. The first day everyone is dedicated, including faculty. After that, everyone will be diluted. One student only first will dilute. He will call everyone to join in that batch. So this is not a June 27 batch. We have to form the 2 or 3 batches. Just from students' perspective. Remember, if you are dedicated, example, I don't want to say, sir, every day you have to get in the trance of studies, etc. Not required. Sunday is your day. If you want to study on Sunday, just write exam and go for that movie, or you can spend your time with your friends or the family members also, as per your wish and will only. But Monday morning itself, you have to leave everything and you have to come to the class. Like that, if you spend within the class, now preparation time will be cakewalk only. Okay. But definitely, so just saying everything is easy only. Implementing only the difficult. I will accept that. But okay, in 100 days, 5 days if you are absent also okay. Only 5 days presence is definitely extremely difficult. So okay, 10 days also okay. 10 days absence also okay. But try for that maximum attendance for that face-to-face classes. Okay, after some days students will ask for that recording classes access. I will show you everything, data, how many students will enroll and how many students will watch, how many watch hours we are getting also, everything I will show you. They will pay the money. Okay, just they will check whether this fellow is uploaded the classes or not. They will not watch that. Okay, some genuine students will watch, they are going to pass. You don't know, during the results day also, I will check our student results who ask doubts regularly. Because definitely they can get positive results. Why I need to wait for others' results? Okay. Next. Appeals, revision, rectification, settlement commission, done. Next, here we are issued the demand notice, right? Okay. How much tax we are asking? Example, yes, some 20 lakh tax we are asking. Example. So now, from department point of view, they want to collect the how much tax? 20 lakh. So first, by way of issuing the demand notice, we want to collect the tax. I am not paying the tax. Then they have to start the recovery procedures. What do you mean by the recovery procedures? The attachment of movable property, immovable property, by using that, they will recover. But why we are talking always about the recovering, collecting? Some cases we have to give the refund also. If any excess tax paid by the SSE, that excess portion we have to give the what refund also. These procedures will discuss in the next chapter. What is that first? As per the demand notice, first we have to, tell me. First we have to what collect. Collection. Next one, if he not paid properly, then we have to start which procedures? Recovery. Okay, so don't think always collection and recovery. Some cases, if any excess tax paid by the SSE, we have to give the what? Refund. Many salaried SCs are getting the refund, right? Yes. How to get the refund? All the things we'll discuss in this chapter. Okay. So in exam point of view, this having the 0 weightage. Now many of you will strike off this chapter from the syllabus. But if any SSC having the demand notice from the department, how to respond? If you know this chapter, then only you can respond, right? Okay, one SSC is asking, sir, I want to get the refund. How to get the refund? These are all the things we have to learn, right? It is a very important chapter for all the assessment procedure chapters. Okay, to be honest, if you understood the, okay, one more chapter I will add. Your favorite chapter in intermediate level? What is that? Okay, just I will tell you one simple word. During the financial year, we are earning the income. But when we are paying the tax, in next year, right? Listen, right, so time is that. Okay, you can copy everything, this lesson class. Okay. We are calling the year in our Income Tax Act 2025 as an tax year. There is no concept of assessment years. There is no concept of previous years. Very happy, right? So earlier we have to learn 2 years. And if you are saying assessments, R will say previous. Okay, in exam we have to learn everything. Now, everything is clear. What is it year? Tax year. Only we have to learn the tax year. There is no concept of previous year. There is no concept of assessment year. Okay, what is a tax year? Any idea? Huh? What is a tax year? Any idea, ma? Just you can say. 26, 27. That means now we are in this year only, right? That it is in financial year 2026-27. In Income Tax Act 1961, we have in previous year, and a later year will be called as what? Assessment year. But now just remember tax year. Can you tell me starting and ending date? Sir, it is a financial year, means 1/4/2026 to 2000. Okay. Sir, whatever income we earn during the tax year, whatever that income we earn during the tax year, can I pay the tax during this year itself by way of filing return of income? No. Why? Sir, what is that income we earn during the tax year? How we can ascertain? By the end of the year, after closing the books of accounts, then only we can ascertain our income. That means after 5 or 6 days, 7 days, 1 month, 2 months, based on the legality of business, we can decide our income by way of closing the books of accounts. That means definitely we are false within the next year, right? What is the next year? 27. In this year, you have to file the return. So what is that concept? Return means already you know, return of income, whatever that income, and during the tax year, on that income we are going to pay the tax, and that immediately next year. Don't call it as an assessment year. Forget about assessment year. Okay. Remember, only tax year. Next year is called as what, ma? Next succeeding year only. Don't call it as assessment years. In old act we have an, this year is called as previous year. This year is called as what? Assessment year. Okay. Suppose example. Starting day is what? 1/4/2027. And next one, ma? 28. Okay, just example, 31st/7 is a due date for filing return. Okay, in return of income chapter we can discuss what is a due date, last date for filing returns also. Can you tell me 31st March 2027 is a due date? Before this date we have to file the what, ma? Return. That means technically we are paying the tax on which date, ma? This date only. But when you are earning the income during this year, your income earned during this year, but payment of tax to the department done in a later date, right? In terms of time value of money, it is a disadvantage to whom? Department. You are earning income, right? Please pay the tax. Both the things are done on the same time. There is no time gap also. They can utilize the tax money for somewhere else. But income earned during this year, payment of tax done in a later years. This is a disadvantage. That's why department is saying that income earned here, payment of tax done in a what, ma? Later date. So this is the disadvantage to department, right? Sir, if anything is disadvantage to department, even they will not tolerate even for 1 minute also. How overcoming these things? How department is overcoming this structure? They introduce the concepts of two things. They introduce the two concepts. Yes, in previous year itself. Earlier, previous year. Now, in tax year itself. At the time of earning of the income itself, they want to collect the tax by using the two methodologies. What are the two methodologies, ma? Generally, you have to pay the tax later, but in advance itself, you have to pay. Advance tax always will pay during the which year, ma? Tax year. Next. I'm earning the salary income during this year. Whenever the salary credited to my bank account, employer will deduct the what ma TDS. So that means another structure, TDS as well as what ma TCS. So these two methodologies are beneficial to whom? Department for collecting early way of tax. For collecting the early taxations. Understood? Now, this is only we can discuss in this chapter. If you are not paid properly advance tax during that which year tax year, you have to pay the interest. They are given the certain dates for payment of advance tax. I will tell you in the chapter, you have to pay the advance tax in an installments way. If you are not paid that advance tax in an installments way properly, department will collect the interest. That will discuss in this chapter. Understood? Now, if you observe this part, return of income to advance tax, I will call this part as an assessment part in the final syllabus. Okay, assessment procedures part, or we can call it as what ma assessment part. Okay, how many chapters ma? Chapter 2 to chapter 8 will call it as an what ma assessment procedures part. Okay, generally all will start with the other chapters, but okay, I don't know, maybe I know these chapters very well from the beginning itself, so that's why I will start with these chapters only. If you know these things, and our entire syllabus will become very easy for you. Okay, in this order only we can go, but if you felt any boring etc, then we can bring these some small chapters into our discussion in between these chapters. Understood all of you? Okay, sir, one more chapter ma. Technically, it will be a forming part of return of income chapter only, but we'll discuss it as a 9th chapter. What is that, ma? Updated return. What is that concept? Updated return. It is on one type of return. Loss return, revised return, normal return is there. Like that, we have one type of return, updated return. Updated return means example, I'm not at all filed the last 2 to 3 years returns. Can I file now? Yes, you can file now. That is only called as updated return. Already I filed returns for the last 2 to 3 years, but now I want to update that return. That means I want to declare more income to my return of incomes which I filed earlier. That means filers also can file the updated return. Non-filers also can file the updated return. Earlier years I'm not at all filed. Now you can file. Earlier years already I filed, but I want to increase my income in earlier returns by way of filing the what ma updated return. That all the provisions will discuss in the updated return concept. Sir, why you are given separately for the updated return chapter, sir? Any idea, ma? Sir, in return of income itself, it is a separate chapter, right? But again, we are giving the separate chapter name for the updated return. Why? Ma, in order to understood the updated return concept, we need to get a knowledge about the assessment procedures as well as advanced tax concepts. So that's why after completion of these two, we'll discuss the updated return. So generally, we can discuss here itself. But some points will be linking with the assessment procedures as well as advanced tax and interest chapter. So that's why after completion of these two, we'll discuss updated return. 1 hour topic only. Okay. Understood up to now? Super. This only will take the 1 to 1.5 month time for me. Every day if I'm taking the 2 hours class also, definitely 1 month I will take only for these chapters. Then after, we have to start the 10th chapter. Any idea? PGBP, okay, ra? I think if I am saying PGBP, many of you get the heart attack also. Listen, okay, definitely some of you are taking this chapter as an, Many of you are taken this chapter as a choice in intermediate level, right? How many of you taken the choice? PGBP chapter. Okay. Nora, how many of you studied this chapter? Please raise. Super. Okay. Listen, in final we have an PGBP chapter, but from basics itself I will teach you. Don't worry. Okay, if you are already given this chapter as a choice also, so I don't want to leave you in the final level. I will teach from basic level. So we'll discuss the chapter as an 11th. Okay, hero told the chapter name. Na? So that's first we have to write the PGBP chapter. So 10th one, we have to discuss the business restructuring. What is the chapter name? New chapter and very important chapter. Business restructuring and reconstruction. Business restructuring and what ma? Reconstruction. Newly we are listening this chapter name, right? And every attempt we can get 7-mark question. Okay, whenever I am posting the revision videos, the many of the students will ask this chapter only. Okay, we'll discuss. Sir, restructure means changing something, right? What we are changing now? Business. Reconstructing means nothing but whatever we have as a structure, we are changing. No. Sir, as of now, I am doing the business by using the concept of sole proprietorship. But I want to increase my business scope as well as the business investments and everything. Can I convert this business into company? Can I change? Tell me, Ra. Huh? Yes, you can do, Ra. Sir, every business will start with the one person only. If the business is successful, many persons will join. So definitely they want to change the legal structure of the business. Okay. Sir, all together we started the partnership form, sir. But now I want to start into that. I want to convert that into the company. Possible? Yes. Many partnership forms will change their legal structure into companies nowadays. Okay. Next, sir, we started the company. That too, private company or unlisted public. Don't touch the listed companies here, because listed companies will have the regulations with the SEBI. Now, the unlisted which company ma? Public company. Converted into LLP. Possible? Yes. Yes, Ra. These are all the things are legal conversions we can call. Along with that, sir, many companies will going further what ma? Amalgamation. In intermediate level, you know, the recently one thing also happened. I don't know. Ra. Next, demerger. Yes, Ra? Demerger. Okay. The reason, these are all the things are called as a business restructuring. For example, don't call anything, just these 5 things only called as a business restructuring. My demerger example I will tell you. Yes, simply A, yes ma, is closing and A limited is taken over by the whom? B limited. That is amalgamation only, because it is a closing company, it is a newly formed company. Okay, one more thing. A and B are merging with each other in order to start C. That is also called as amalgamation. Okay. Now these two companies are closing and this is a newly formed company. I think in your accounting maybe you can call this as a merger. But here there is no difference, amalgamation. Demerger example now I want to tell you. What is a demerger? You know already in lifestyle, okay, I think you know the lifestyle company or shopping complexes and somewhere we have. Earlier lifestyle having the clothes also and the remaining footwear and everything they are selling. But in order to reach the more customer, they are demerged into, yes ma, lifestyle is continuing with the lifestyle name as well as structure, but only one product is demerged as an Max. I think you can see the Max showrooms, only they are selling the what ma, cloths. So now that the lifestyle company is demerged. So separated company is called as what ma, lifestyle. This company is called as demerged company. Okay, which company is demerged? Lifestyle. What is a newly formed company? That company is called as what ma, resulting company. Okay, what is the result of demerger? One new company form. So that is called as what ma, resulting company. Now, sir, why we are learning everything? If business restructuring or business reconstruction, or we can call it as business reorganization. If these things are happen, what is the tax treatment we have to learn? Accounting treatments already you know in your intermediate level or in final level also in group 4 CFR, we can discuss about the business combinations and consolidations, etc. Amalgamation and everything. Accounting treatment you know. But if any amalgamation is done, what is the tax treatment in the hands of both the companies? And if any demerger happens, what is the tax treatment in the hands of demerged company as well as resulting company? Now, this is called as an predecessor. Who are going to lose their existence? That companies or that businesses are called as what ma, predecessor. Who are newly formed, those are called as what ma, successor. In these cases, what is a tax treatment in the hands of both the parties? We'll discuss. In this chapter, simply what is a tax treatment if any business is rearranged? What are the 5 things we have? Ma? Please repeat. Sole proprietorship converted into company, partnership form converted into company, private company, unlisted public company converted into LLP, amalgamation, demerger. Sir, I want to rearrange everything in a different mode, sir, that are not permissible. As per Act, these are only the 5 business restructurings are there. Sir, can I write company to sole proprietor? No, no one can convert like that. In this flow, you can think, sir, can I think a company converted into sole proprietor? Instead of that, you can go for liquidation. Okay. Instead of that, converting company into the sole proprietor, don't think no one can convert like that even in practical cases. So that's why you have to remember this flow. These 5 only we have in our syllabus. From these 5 tax treatments, if you learn, definitely you will get 7 mark question. That is only the chapter what? Anna, business restructuring. I don't want to tell you the more things related to the PGBP. If you are having the business or profession, from that business or profession, what is that income you earn as per Income Tax Act 1961 earlier, now 2025. How we are going to compute your business as well as the profession income, we can discuss in this chapter. Understood? What is that weightage of PGBP? 14 marks you can get in our final exam also. Okay. So 11th also done, 12th, sorry, now 12th. Tell me, ma. Any idea? The connecting thing, I think in your intermediate itself, maybe you know, if your business turnover crosses 1 crore, profession related gross receipts crosses 50 lakh, we have to go for that audit. That audit is called as what ma? Tax audit. Okay. So the tax audit chapter will discuss. But there is an uncertainty about this chapter, whether it is in our syllabus, whether it is not covered in our syllabus, we don't know until study materials are getting study materials. Maybe they will give in March 27. March 27 only they will give study material. Don't worry, from our side, I will give you. But they will give the study materials for June exams in March month. So, but we'll discuss the tax audit chapter also in detailed manner. Okay, no problem. Some of you, maybe you have in future plans to do CA. For that also, it will be useful. Otherwise, if you are going for that practice or if you are working in any audits areas also, it will be helpful. So, we'll discuss tax audit concept along with the tax audit report. So, how the tax auditor will give the audit report? That is nothing but form 3CD. What is that? So, example, after completion of audit, example, you have a business, turnover is 20 crores. For you, definitely audit is required. You will come to our office because we are holding CA as well as certificate of practice. We can do the tax audit. Remember, CMAs cannot do the tax audit as of now. In future, maybe you will get a scope. As of now, only the CA holding COP, certificate of practice, they can do the tax audit. Okay. You are giving the books of accounts to me. I will analyze everything. After that, from my side, I have to give the report. What is the report? Tax audit report. In one particular format, yes, that is format is called as what ma form? 3CAB is there, 3CB is there, 3CD also there. What are the form numbers we have, ma? If you are not remembering everything also, no problem. Just try to listen first. What are the form numbers, ma? 3CA. Next, 3CD. Okay. That this most important is 3CD. Sir, maybe whenever I am using the audit word, report words, you can think we are from the parallel universe or we are from the another country, etc. Don't think that. Just it is a procedure. If you are concentrated some time on that, you know everything. Just okay, nearly 41 or 46. Every time the clauses will change. Example, you have a business, right? What is your inventory? For inventory valuation, which method you are following? I need to give the comment in this report. Okay. Example, you have a business, while paying the salaries, whether you deducted the tax from your employee's salary or not. I have to comment in this report. Like how many points will be there? Near 40 points will be there. Every time they will add some points, they will remove some points. On an average, now 44 will be there. Okay. Understood? Yes, this form, every class also will discuss in the class itself. That is only the tax audit chapter. Understood? After completion of the tax audit, 13th chapter, any idea? In our intermediate level, again you left this chapter as a choice, but again I want to tell you in a detailed way. Capital gains. But remember, capital gain chapter is very important because the business restructuring chapter and capital gain chapter are interlinked. Simply, if you know the capital gains, then only you can understand business restructuring chapter in a proper way. Okay, I will tell you simple thing also. Here, sole proprietorship after conversion into company, they are required to transfer their assets to the whom? Company. So that means, what are the assets, ma? Capital assets. Now, being a transferor, who is a transferor? Sole proprietor. They transferred their capital assets to whom? Company. They are required to calculate the capital gain. That is only tax treatment. Okay, in order to calculate this capital gain, what is a basic chapter knowledge is required, ma? Capital gain chapter basic knowledge is required. So that's why we'll discuss. If you open your study material, there is no PGBP syllabus in your study material. There is no capital gains also. But they are asking in that exam. So that's why we have to learn these things. Clear? Can you tell me these two chapters are interlinked or not, ma? Yes. These two chapters are interlinked. It is an basics. It is an advanced. Clear? Okay. 13th also done. 10 minutes. We can close the session for today after understanding the after knowing the chapter names. Understanding and knowing is different. Understanding can be done after deep discussion only. Now you know the syllabus first. 14th one. Capital gains done. Next one, just I want to tell you, your favorite chapter in intermediate syllabus, very small chapter. After residential status, many of you will start this chapter. What is that? Income from other sources. Sir, why you are telling this chapter again, sir? For MCQ purposes, sir. Maybe we can get one MCQ from this chapter, like gift provision is there. I think you remember. Gift provision, dividend including deemed dividend. So some cases they can ask MCQ from this chapter also. So that's why we'll discuss this chapter also in our syllabus. So now, just give me 1 second. Just I want to highlight with the one color. I want to give the differentiation. These all the chapters are not in your final syllabus. PGBP is not in your final syllabus. Tax audit also. Capital gains also. Next ma. Please Anna. Income from other source also. Sir, can I give these chapters as a choice? No, you can't. Okay. If there is any scope of giving the choice, etc., why we will discuss in the class? There we can get the questions from these chapters also, but these all are not in our study material. Okay. 15th one ma. 15th one. Assessment of various entities. What is the chapter name ma? Assessment of various entities. Tell me. In your intermediate level, maybe we are discussing the total income problems relating to individual only, right? Total income of individual and tax liability of individual. But other entities also there. Other entities means company, partnership firm, LLP, AOP, BOI, local authorities, etc. is there, right? Political parties also there. If you are observing our economy, the many other persons also there. That all the entities related, how we are computing total income, how we are computing tax liability, will discuss in this chapter. Very important. The mainly assessment of various entities, within that company assessment is very important. In intermediate level, only individual total income, individual tax liability we done. In final level, the remaining entities total income, how we can compute, how we are going to calculate the tax liability. These are all the things we'll discuss in the chapter number 15. Various entities. Ma, understood? One more thing I will tell you. Assessment of various entities. It's our first chapter in our final syllabus. Study material, first chapter. Okay. Okay, various entities done. One of the various entity is an charitable trust. To be honest, within this chapter itself, I have to discuss trust chapter. But always they are given the 1 7-mark question, that 2A. After MCQ, first question, trust question only. So that's why I want to discuss the trust chapter as a separate chapter, and which is very important. Charitable trust or religious trust. Simply you can write it on it as a trust. Important. Okay. So remember, these two things are one chapter only. One of the entity is trust. The trust we are going to discuss in a separate way. Okay. Understood up to now? Okay. Don't read that everything into the one line. Okay, these are the not required. After completion of the syllabus, maybe you can remember the chapters even in order also, not required. Just okay, in future this is our checklist to read, a checklist to learn. For that purpose only we are discussing everything. I think while filing the return of income of the any person, return of income of whom? Any person, I think we want to reduce our tax liability or we want to increase our tax liability, right? Reduce, super. Okay, example, as a business person, right? Okay, I'm using chapter 6A deductions, or I'm using some certain benefits given in the act for reducing my total income, for reducing my tax liability. I'm following. That is permissible or not permissible? Permissible, right? That is only called as tax planning. Okay, example, whatever the benefits, whatever the deductions, whatever the concession, whatever the exemptions given in the act, by following that, you are reducing your total income, you are reducing your tax liability. That activity is called as what, ma? Tax planning. Okay. Second thing I will tell you, I haven't business receipts. One batch receipts I will record, another batch receipts I will omit. This is called as tax planning. This is called as tax evasion. This is called as what, ma? Tax evasion. One more thing I will tell you. Every time I will file my return of income on time. Every time I will pay the advance tax also on time. Why? In order to avoid the interest payments, right? This is called as tax management. Whatever the tax obligations I have, due dates, returns, statements, etc., I will file on time. Why? In order to avoid the fines, penalties, interest in future. That is called as what, ma? Tax management. 14 marks chapter. Yes. Now that is in 17th chapter. Tax planning only we have, but in this chapter we'll discuss the tax evasion also, tax management also, and tax avoidance also. Everything we'll discuss, ma. Okay, so tax planning. Next one, ma? Tax avoidance, tax evasion, and what, ma? Tax management. The tax avoidance related we are not discussed anything, because only intelligence can do the tax avoidance, ma. Okay, if you haven't sound knowledge about the taxation laws, you can do the tax avoidance. Evasion, if you haven't fraud, okay, if you want to do the fraudulent activities, yes, you can do tax evasion. So tax avoidance, if anything is done, as a department, from department side, they want to prevent the tax avoidances. For example, there is a drafting mistakes in the law. There is a drafting mistake in the law. By using the drafting mistake, we can avoid the tax. We are taking the advantage of what, ma? Drafting mistakes. So no one can say anything, because it is your fault. I am taking the undue advantage of that fault. Sir, initially, okay, not now, in certain points, there is a drafting mistakes also. Many intelligent taxpayers are taking that advantage of drafting mistakes. So now tell me, this avoidance we have to encourage or prevent, ma? Prevent, right? So preventing this tax avoidance, department introduced the rules. Okay, department introduced the what, ma? Rules. Sir, some rules are called as an GAR. ఏంటేంటో చూస్తున్నాడు ఫస్ట్ క్లాస్లోనే, వదలను కూడా వదలట్లే. ఓకే, ఫస్ట్ ఈజ్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ వాట్, మా? SAR. Second one is called as what, ma? GAR. Okay, can you tell me the full name, ma? Specific Anti-avoidance rules. Specifically they mentioned in the act itself. These are called as what, ma? GAR means general. Okay. I will write it on the full name for this. What is that, ma? General anti-avoidance rules. Energy unda. So, 10 minutes. Mostly 10 minutes. Within the 10 minutes, we can close everything. Remember, simple example I will tell you. Husband having the salary income and husband having the house property also. If both the things are taxed within the same hands, okay, I will tell you, salary income, yes ma, 11 lakh will be there. House property income, 6 lakh will be there. He is following the, yes ma, new raising. I think you know up to 12 lakh we can get rebate like etc. Okay. Sir, if both the things are taxed in the hands of husband, maybe he required to pay the tax because total income more than how much ma? 12 lakh. So that's why he haven't planned. He want to give the gift to his wife. What is a gift he want to give out of nature and love and affection, etc. He want to give the house as a gift. Okay, concept is not giving the gift. Concept is diverting the income from husband hands to wife hands. Now tell me, from this house property, what is that income in the hands of wife ma? 6 lakh. So technically, they are saving the tax with the help of husband and wife relationship. So that's why. So this is a tax avoidance only, If you are not giving the gift, automatically husband required to pay the tax. That's why no problem. There is an provisions what clubbing provisions. If you are giving the any gift without consideration also, inadequate consideration also, if you are giving any gift to your wife, on that gifted asset, if any income is generated, can you tell me what is a gifted asset? House. On that gifted asset, what is that income generated? 6 lakh amount. That is going to clubbed in the hands of whom? Transferor. Who is a transferor? Ma? Husband. So this is called as an specifically in the act they introduced as an what ma? Clubbing provisions chapter. In clubbing provisions chapter, specifically in the act they introduced this point. So that's why it is an example of what ma? Sa. If these are not there, many are avoiding the what? Tax. So one example for the specific anti-avoidance rule is our clubbing provision chapter. Minor's income should be clubbed in the hands of parents whose total income is higher. That is also example of what? Sir. Otherwise, minor also can get the basic exemption limit. The small incomes also will leads to non-payment of taxes. Understood? Now, whenever specific anti-avoidance rules are not there, we have an what ma? Okay, everywhere how we can insert the anti-avoidance rule? In every provision there is a scope of avoidance of tax. Always we can't insert this specifically anti-avoidance rule. In that cases, we can use the what ma? General anti-avoidance rule. That is only our next chapter. Sir, why we are not discussing this, sir? Already in our act we can learn this, sir. Sir means specifically in act already we discussed the SAR provisions. Whenever SAR is absent, then we have to use the GAR. Full name, sir? Specific anti-avoidance rule, general anti-avoidance rule. Understood? Again, listen carefully. Sir, these are all the things. Technically, you know everything. But we have to keep everything in an order. You know clubbing provisions chapter. Definitely, by using the husband and wife relationship also, father-in-law and daughter-in-law also, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relations also, we can avoid the taxes. This is not at all correct. That's why they introduced the clubbing provisions. These are all are inserted in act itself, right? So that's why these are all called as what ma? Specific anti-avoidance rule. We don't have any class over 10,000 rupees, sir. Maybe you are referring other website. Please come to our website, shikharatutorials. Next. Then GAR is okay. Ma. In international taxation, we have to learn 3 or 4 chapters, right? One of the chapter is GAR. Okay. Already at the time of introduction, we discussed in international taxation only we have 4 chapters, 3 to 4. One of the chapter is GAR. Okay. Now, after GAR chapter, we are in climax. Any idea about 19th chapter, ma? 19th chapter, there is no concept of equalization levier removed from the syllabus. That is not at all there in our act. The 19th chapter is nothing but liabilities in special cases. What is that, ma? Liabilities in special cases. There are many cases, whenever I am taking the money from others as a loan or etc. also, they are giving only 2 lakh amount in the form of cash. The remaining amount they want to do the account. So there is an cash restrictions. There is an what, ma? Cash restrictions. Certain amount only they can pay in the form of cash. Other than the remaining amount they will do in the form of what, ma? Electronic payments only. So these are provisions are called as an cash restrictions. If you are violated the cash restrictions, what are the penalties? That is only we'll discuss in this chapter. Liabilities in special contraventions. Okay. So many provisions, I think 5 or 6 are there, we'll discuss. So no one can pay the cash unlimitedly. Example, if you want to receive the cash also, restriction is there. If you want to pay the cash also, restrictions will be there. You have to follow that guidelines. Otherwise, you have to pay the penalties. That is only called as a liability. 20th chapter. Any idea? Black Money Act. Okay. There is another act also, ma, that we'll discuss separately. Black Money Act. All are saying direct tax laws means only Income Tax Act 2025. No. We haven't 2 acts. Direct tax laws. First, direct tax example means 2 acts will be there. One is an income tax. Another one, black money. Separate act, this one. Okay. Black Money Act 2015 will discuss. So whoever saying the indirect taxes example, you can say GST, customs duty, etc. Right? Like in direct tax also, we have an Income Tax Act 2025, Black Money Act 2015. 2 acts are there in our direct taxes. Okay. Next, what do you mean by the Black Money Act? What is the taxes and all? Sir, in Income Tax Act, how many sections we have? In the same way, we have in sections in Black Money Act. It is a separate act. Okay. Now, 21st chapter. Any idea? Chapter. Yes, ma. Dispute Resolution Committee. What is that, ma? Dispute Resolution Committee. Sir, always students are given the less importance to this chapter. In last attempt, they given for the 4 marks. Only 1 page we have. In our study material, only 1 page. Always we are remembering this as a C category chapter, sorry, Z category chapter. So no need to read this chapter, but they given for the 4 marks. Half page, 1 page, 4 marks. The dispute means in our act, between whom and whom dispute will be arises, taxpayer department. So in order to resolve the disputes, I think one point we discussed, settlement commission is there. Dispute will be resolved by settling the sum amount. It is abolished, right? This is introduced. After abolishing the settlement commission, dispute resolution committee is introduced. In shortcut, we can call it as what, ma? DRC. Understood? Okay. So 22nd, konchana navandra 22nd DTAA, double tax avoidance agreement. Some cases, if I am a resident in India, for resident which incomes are taxable ma? Global income. I think you know in residential status chapter, if you are a resident, you have to pay the tax in India on global income. Because of this rule, some cases double taxation will arise. Okay, some cases double taxation will arise. For whom? ROR. So Mr. A is what? ROR. He having the Indian income 10 crore is there. He having the USA income 2 crore is there. So definitely based on the resident rule. What is the resident rule we are following in India? If you are a resident, which income is taxable ma? Global income. That means you have to pay the tax on how much ma? 12 crore. Because you have to pay the tax on global income, Indian income plus foreign income totally taxed in India. Definitely, USA country also will levy the tax based on what? Source rule. Because you earned 2 crores in USA, so that's why they will collect the tax in USA. How much? Okay, some amount they will collect. How much? These are all the things we'll discuss later. Based on source rule, how much ma? Tell me. Tax on? Now tell me, what is the double taxed income? 2 crore, right? Both the countries are taxed the 2 crore. Okay. If you are doubly taxed any income, it leads to tax evasions in future. Or in any one country, if you are asked the tax, freely we can pay. Both the countries are asking the tax on same income, how we can pay the tax? So that's why in between the countries, we have an double taxation avoidance agreements. What is a double taxation? What ma? Avoidance agreement. By using these agreements, we can give the relief to the double taxed incomes. We can give the what ma? Relief to the doubly taxed income. 20 to 30 problems will be there. 1 to 2 hours theory will be there. 14 marks chapter. It is also international taxation. Practical chapter. Okay. So nothing but if any doubly taxed income is there, that is not correct for the tax collection structure also. So that's why they will provide the relief to the doubly taxed income by using the what ma? Agreement. Double taxation avoidance agreement. We want to avoid what ma? Double taxation. Double taxation. A means what ma? Avoidance. Another A means agreement between the countries. Understood, Anna? Double taxation avoidance agreement. Next, non-resident. What is that, ma? Sir, you know resident related tax payment always, but as a non-resident, what are the special tax rates applicable for you? And what are the TDS provisions applicable for non-resident? All the things we'll discuss in a separate chapter. It is also forming part of what ma? International taxation. Another very important chapter, transfer pricing. I think in casting maybe you can listen this name, but the concepts are very different. Transfer pricing chapter, 30 marks weightage. How many marks weightage? 30. Definitely you will get 30 marks from this chapter itself. 4 MCQs in order. Okay. 3 descriptive questions. Above 30 marks weightage. I don't know. Okay, if you are asking me, sir, why many of the students are failing in direct taxation, sir? If transfer pricing chapter itself for 30 marks, right? The remaining chapters around we can get 10 also. But why students are not getting the 40 marks, sir? Okay. Then just you can check our Telegram group, main Telegram group. I think June examination, direct taxation exam, before day chart, you can see. If I am saying weightage is 30 marks, means what you have to do? You have to listen class perfectly. If anything is uncovered also, you have to cover that, right? In class, one point maybe we are not discussed. That also you have to ask, or you have to learn on your own. By mistakenly, if anything is missed. Okay, day before exam, students are asking, sir, which concepts we have to prepare from the transfer pricing chapter? That means in that chapter also you are taking the choice. But you want exemption. Okay, if anything I am saying wrong, you can see Telegram group, yes, day before exam to the direct taxation for June 26th term. Okay, and if you observe, it is only 14 mark chapter. It is 30 mark chapter. What is here only, sir, how many hours you will teach for the transfer pricing? 22 hours I will teach in regular batch. Everything I will teach only. Notes also. Every question and answer also I will discuss. So that also if you are not practicing, no one can help you. You can ask with your seniors also. 30 marks. Okay, sir. Any question paper you can open from the 2012 attempt onwards. Clear? Now, I am highlighting with the red color here, tick mark. These all the chapters are related to what, ma? International taxation. You will get 50 marks here itself. But in order to understand this chapter, the basic concepts, all the chapters knowledge is required. With the help of the chapter in and out knowledge itself, you can understand these also. Ma, are you clear up to now? Which chapters are important? Which chapters we have to target a lot? All the things we can do. So, what is the last chapter done, Ron? 24. So, 25th chapter, any idea? Sir, penalties and prosecution. Penalties and prosecution. Can you tell me any one of the provisions, whatever we discussed in all chapters? Example, tax audit is required to conduct, but you are not going for the tax audit. Penalty will be there. You have to maintain the books of account. If you are not maintain the books of account, you have to pay the penalty. So definitely every provision, if you are not followed, you have to pay the penalty. Can you tell me penalty means always that can be imposed in terms of amount. Next, prosecution means what? Imprisonment along with the fine. So for every violation in the act, what is a penalty? All the things we will discuss. Definitely they will give one MCQ from the penalties chapter. Many provisions are there and we can identify the important provisions and easily you can score this marks from the penalties chapter also. And 26th one. Can you tell me what is the name? ICDS. Income computation and disclosure standards. What is that, ma? Income computation and what, ma? Sir, we have an 10 ICDS. In the name itself, for computation of income purpose, we have to follow the standards, not for maintenance of books of accounts. I think you know we have 5 heads of incomes, right? Okay, I am an SSC. I have 5 heads of income. Okay, every head of income I have first one income from salary, second one income from house property, then after PGBP, next one capital gain and income from other source. So then this is only the total income. Okay, forget about the chapter 6A reduction, etc. So now I am computing my income. So first I think you know in every head of income separately we have to compute, then we have to aggregate everything for computing the gross total income. Oh, these 2 heads of income related computation, not for all heads, ma. Oh, 2 heads of income. Can you tell me what are the 2 heads of income? PGBP, income from other sources, heads of income, if you want to compute, definitely you have to follow 10 ICDS notified by the central government. This point you have to know. Many are remembering that for computing income means for all heads of income. No, no, no. Only for computing that income under two heads. What are the two heads? PGBP and income from other sources, heads of income computation purpose. Then how we are computing that income, that also we have to disclose as per ICDS. That's similar to your accounting standards, whatever you learn in our financial accounting. The same. That again we can discuss. Every attempt they are giving the 5 to 6 mark question also. ICDS. Next, 27. The chapter 6A deductions. Sir, again we have to learn this chapter 6A deductions. Yes, there is no alternative for you. Definitely we have to discuss the chapter 6A deductions. So 28th chapter, last one, whatever we have in our intermediate syllabus, the TDS and TCS chapter also we have to discuss. Sir, why we have to learn the TDS as well as TCS chapter, sir? Sir, if I am highlighting with the green color, what? These are not in our CMA final syllabus, but important for our exam point of view. Sir, why we have to discuss, sir? TDS, TCS chapter only for MCQ point of view. Chapter 6A deductions, sir. For this chapter. Everywhere we have to compute the total income. How we can get the total income, sir? Okay. After aggregating everything, we can get what, ma? GTA. After getting the GTA, we have to reduce what, chapter 6A deduction. So that's why I have to give this chapter introduction as well as in and out also. After removing the chapter 6A deduction only, you have to get the, you can get the total income. On this total income, we can calculate what, ma? Tax. So that's why this is also important. One more thing, sir, while calculating the tax, you have to know the tax rates applicable for every person, right? That we'll discuss in basic concepts itself. So after completion of basic concept, you have to remember what are the tax rates are applicable for every SSC and in every chapter. Example, okay. Here we are calculating tax liability for non-resident. You know already tax rates in basic concept chapter. Okay. Assessment of various entities, company tax liability while computing. Already we know tax rates in basic concept chapter, surcharge, everything we'll discuss here itself. Next, while calculating the trust tax liability, we'll discuss the tax rates in the basic concept. Without basic concept, the remaining chapters, we can't do questions completely. Sir, many are referring, okay, in student days, okay, in student days also, everyone can open the tax rates every time from the basic concept. No, no, no. Hereafter, that every chapter, while calculating the tax liability, you have to keep the tax rates in your mind. By using which chapter? Basic. So I think you can understood the flow. Tomorrow we will start with the what? Basic concept chapter. So this is only our syllabus. And if you prepare these chapters itself, you will get the 40 marks definitely. But, sir, anyhow, if I am starting with this chapter, I only can understood this chapter. Okay. I only. But if you are a repeater, maybe you are following any video classes, etc. If you are a repeater, you can understood. That other students can come to the class, they will go to that home. So this is a regular procedure. That's why having patience, this is a regular batch. After 1 year, you are going to write your exams, nearly. So that's why everything you can learn in a slow way. Don't expect everything in a fast way. Like many are asking after completion of basic concepts, definitely 10th will say, sir, we'll go for the transfer pricing chapter because the facts revealed in the first class itself now. And don't worry. So classes will continue. The tomorrow we'll start with the remaining subjects also. Thank you. Have a nice day.